Welcome to the Real View podcast, where Ohio Realtors connect you to innovators and influencers, keeping you with the real view of real estate. Whether you're a broker, agent, first-time homebuyer, industry leader, or just happen to stumble upon our podcast today, you can expect to hear tips, tools, tricks, interesting information, and so much more from the experts in Ohio's real estate game.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Real View Ohio Policy Talk. I'm your host, Anastasia, joined by Andrew Huffman from our team. And we've got a very exciting and important episode today, especially for our licensees and brokers across Ohio. Big changes are coming to the way that real estate professionals in our state manage their licenses. And today we are diving into what those changes mean, what you need to do, and how it will benefit you. So joining us today is a very, very special guest, Superintendent of the Division of Real Estate and Professional Licensing, Daphne Hawk herself. She's spent decades in the real estate world and public service, and she's been leading the charge to make the licensing process easier and more efficient for everyone. So Superintendent Hawk, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, let's start with your journey. You've had quite a career, like I said, in both real estate and public service. Could you talk a bit about your background and what led you to your role as superintendent?
Sure. Well, I can honestly say this is not where I thought I would end up, but I'm very happy to be here. So almost 30 years ago, I became a licensed sales agent. And after a few years, I began helping new agents and taught classes for my broker. And it was kind of funny because agents would sometimes say, "Why are you being so nice to me?" And I thought, well, because I just want to help you. I remember what it was like to be a new agent. So I just found a love for teaching. So I soon became my broker's new agent sales trainer and later a productivity coach and brokerage manager. And I just loved teaching. So I went on to teach professional designation courses for Honduras College and Ohio Realtors. As a matter of fact, I taught the GRI course here and taught the ABR course. And in addition to my real estate experience, I served as the real estate relations manager at the Ohio Housing Finance Agency and developed a 3-hour fair housing course that highlighted the programs that OFA offers to buyers. And so in addition to my real estate career, I served in elected office as a township trustee and then later the Franklin County recorder. And just 3.5 years ago, I was appointed by the governor to become the next superintendent.
Well, and superintendent, I think that's the best part about your background is you speak our language. And our members realize that, they appreciate that. And I think that's a value that you bring that not everybody would have. And so it's great to have that experience, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you've been deep in the weeds for a while, so you know what you're talking about. So now one of your top priorities has been improving services for licensees, and we recently saw that come to life through the new eLicense LPI portal that launched last week. Can you tell us a bit about this new portal?
Sure. Well, we see the incredible work that realtors do every day to support Ohio's real estate market and the communities that they serve. So I know the time and energy required to handle multiple clients, including all the details and deadlines that must be attended to. So in light of that, I'm happy to share some news that's going to make the professional lives of our realtor members a lot easier. The new system will allow for faster turnaround times, no more waiting on paper submissions to be processed or checks to clear. Licensees will be able to stay in the loop with real-time notifications and track their application progress every step of the way. Whether someone is a new applicant or a current licensee, this system is built to simplify that experience.
Well, I think it's going to be a huge step in the right direction. I know my first day on the job almost 3 years ago, our boss came to us and said, we really need to make a push to move to an electronic system. And I think he said the same thing to my predecessor years before that. Yes. So congratulations on seeing this through to the finish line, because I know it's been a long time in the making.
Thank you. I can't take the credit for it. I know that my predecessor worked on it, worked to get it going and as well. And a lot of my staff have been instrumental really in putting in all the details around this system. And while, we won't have it perfect right away, every new system has its bugs and things that we have to work through. And of course, there's always the learning curve. No one likes change, right? Even a baby doesn't like its diaper changed, right? But we're happy when it's over with, right? Yep. And so that's sort of how I expect the first 2 weeks to be we're fielding calls, we're fielding a lot of letters and emails, asking how to navigate, and we'll get there. We just ask for people to be patient while we make all these changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see this kind of modernization happening and seeing it more accessible for our licensees. So what kind of tasks will licensees now be able to complete through the portal? And what are some of the biggest improvements you think that they'll see?
So they'll be able to apply, renew, transfer, all of those things through the easy to learn online portal. Who will be impacted will be all licensees, really, and that includes those that are not even in the real estate industry. We, as many people know, we license appraisers, home inspectors, manufactured homes dealers. We register cemeteries. And so all of these systems will be a part of this new portal. All division customers will be impacted. So it doesn't matter what line of work they're in. But there are a couple things that we will not be able to do, at least right off the bat, and that is multi-license transfer. So I just want to make sure that brokerages know that if they're moving a large team, that's something that's still going to be paper-based for just a little while.
Yeah, that's really good to know. And that's a lot of different people that are going to be affected for sure. But for licensees, what should real estate licensees do to prepare for this?
Well, what everyone needs to know to prepare is to first create their OHID. And while there's no hurry to do it, the first day we really had a rush and kind of crashed our system. So, in retrospect, it might have been better to just have brokers go do that first. But, hey, we all live and learn. So, but if you're not transferring brokerages or you're not up for renewal, just sit back and wait a few weeks and give us some time to work out the bugs. But if you are coming up on a renewal or you're planning to transfer from one brokerage to another, the first thing you want to do is to go ahead and put up your OHID account. And you may already have one. I know I had one with the Department of Taxation and the BMV, or some people remember it as oplates.com. If you've ever, gotten your license through the BMV that way, you will already have an OHID. And if that's the case, then you will just need to log in and then navigate over to our portal to claim your license. So it's basically 2 steps. First step is getting your OHID. The second step is going over to the portal and claiming your license. And there are some details with that I'm happy to go over if you want. But the most important thing to remember is if you're an experienced agent like me that has a 6-digit license number, you'll just want to leave the zeros off. So you'll need that prefix, that SAL or your broker prefix, and your license number. But if it's only 6 digits, then leave off the zeros. So that's the most important thing to remember. Other than that, you'll be fine.
Well, and I know in the email that you all sent out, you had a really good video on kind of walking our members through that process. So if they have any questions, there's a couple of areas that they can go. And again, you have a great resource through that video that you posted as well.
Yeah. And I encourage people to go to our website because as we are getting questions, if we get new questions, we're adding those questions to our webpage so that we can help the next person in line.
Yeah, and that's really great. That was actually one of my questions is where can people go for support? So it's really great that you guys have that rolling out. But for those who may be a little bit hesitant about switching to a fully online system, you said that some people are hesitant to change. What's your message to them as this new portal is rolling out?
Well, I'll tell you what. Nobody can handle change like realtors because there have been a lot of changes in the industry over the last couple of years. If you can navigate buyer agency agreements and commission and trying to find out what the commission is offered and all of that, you can do that. I know when I got in the business 30 years ago, the big change was agency disclosure. And I didn't understand what the big deal was because I was a new agent. But for those who had been in the business a while, that was a big deal. So the buyer agency changes is a big deal. And this is a big deal. But it'll only be a big deal for a little while. And then when we get used to it, we'll all be fine.
Yeah, and especially because you guys have so many resources on there. And for our listeners, I'll definitely be putting all of that in the show notes. So you guys will be very, very informed. But well, thank you so much. And it's really reassuring to know that you guys have all of the support. And thank you for walking us through this. I know that the move to this new system is a really big deal, very helpful. I know our members are going to be really excited and we'll find this all super, super helpful. It's going to help our licensees in a very big way. So well, thank you, Superintendent Hawk, for being with us today.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
And to everyone listening, like I said, we'll include links to the show notes with more info on this and the Ohio ID, where to go for help, all of that fun stuff. Thanks again for tuning in to The Real View, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to The Real View. That wraps up today's episode. You can keep up with the latest on the podcast at ohiorealtors.org/therealview and on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Have questions, comments, or suggestions? We want to hear from you. Email us at podcast@ohiorealtors.org. We'll see you next time.